Hey everyone, and welcome to Cyber Leaders Live, our New Year's Eve special. And we are so sorry we're late. I know you enjoyed that 30 seconds of music, but Gerald and I have had absolute hell in the background with audio problems, but we are here now. I won't bother with the normal intro. I'm just going to say, Gerald, please say hello to everyone and extend your apologies too.
Hey, welcome everybody to the stream. Thank you for being gracious with our technical difficulties, and mad props to KevTech from KevTech IT support, because he's literally the one who gave us IT support to get sorted out. So much love to him.
Kev, thank you so much. He's actually only joined the community 2 days ago, and I'm due to speak to him after this stream, ironically. And Jerry and I were sitting here miming away. Well, I could hear Jerry, he couldn't hear me. So Kev very kindly jumped in and helped us. So anyway, we're here now. Gerald, thank you so much for joining me today. I want to focus today. We'll jump straight in because we've wasted 10 minutes faffing around with the audio. So normally, the support you give to everyone in the community is phenomenal. You spend your days giving advice to corporations, the company you work for, and people who are either aspiring to break into cyber, and indeed those experienced professionals working in there. But we never hear anything about you. So today, I want to start off and ask you to tell us a bit about how you became who you are today in cybersecurity.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and hello to everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat there, Jeremiah, Kev, a couple new people. Hopefully you can hear us just fine. Hey, DJ. So my background, I've taken a very traditional route into cybersecurity. You know, when we talk in today's day and age, it's like you don't need to go necessarily the traditional path. You can just do practical training. You can just do labs. You can be military transition. You can pivot out of your existing career. Simon, your mic's hot. So I went the more traditional route, where I went to undergrad, University of Massachusetts, got a computer science degree, and thought I had to become a software developer. I thought that's the only thing I could do with that degree. And I went out, started doing that, and found out after about a year and a half of writing code that it wasn't necessarily the most secure code. And when I found out about that, it unlocked cybersecurity as an industry, as a discipline, and just as it really was a passion that I found. And, you know, for those of you, like I know Jeremiah can attest, being a OffSec person, the first technology, the first thing that like really I dipped my toes in was a vulnerability scanner, right? So I think at the time it was called Saint, if I'm not mistaken. But it just blew my mind that there was technologies out there that could scan any system and tell you all the weaknesses with it. And I just did not understand how everybody wasn't getting popped if the technology was there to just tell you where the problems were. So I got fascinated by that, and then I just started digging in. Now, having a computer science background, I understood operating systems, I understood databases and networking and a couple other things. So I was enabled and able to move faster, consuming that education. And I went and got a job. It's kind of a funny story, if I may. You know, we talk about breaking into the industry. So how did I break in? Well, like literally, I was walking my dog, and I walked by a place, little converted mill factory place, and they had a bunch of small businesses in it. One of it said TBG Security. And I said, oh, I wonder if that's a cybersecurity company. No idea, by the way. So I literally just walk up the stairs with my dog, knock on the door. It's a 2-guy business, converted flat, 2-guy business. One was the business guy and one was a pen tester. And I said, hey guys, I'm just this nobody, you know, I was probably 24 at the time. I got my dog. I really want to get into cybersecurity. Can I just sit down and talk with you about the industry? You know, YouTube wasn't really what it is today. The access to the resources wasn't really there. So this is the only way to do it. Consider it a very grassroots approach. So I sat for an hour. I got a bunch of questions answered. Very, very intriguing. I must have shown some true genuine interest, because maybe like a week or two later, we had exchanged contact information. Like a week or two later, they called me and said, "Hey, like we just won some work. We'd love to have you as a junior come on board and work with us." And I said, "All right." And then, it took off from there.
But you say old-fashioned approach. I landed my first job at 16 selling mobile telephones, and I did that by identifying that pubs in the UK used to lease payphones, the ones used to put the coins in the slot. And spending time in the pubs at that age, I was speaking to the chap who owned it, and I worked out I could buy them and sell them in cheaper. And I did that for a couple of months. And I walked past a shop that had just set up a telecommunications shop, one of the first ever mobile phone shops, and did the same thing. Had a conversation with the guy and ended up getting a job. And it might be the traditional way, Gerald, but it's still the way, because all we hear every day on LinkedIn and every other channel is how people are sending off resume after resume for these jobs. And there's an argument about the whole networking and traditional approach. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
breaking in that way, what's driven you to spend all the time that you do helping other people? Because you've selflessly given up a lot of your own time to do that. It's grown exponentially since you've built it up. And as with any successful enterprise, you didn't set it up to make money, you set it up to help people. And I think personally that's the reason it's been so successful. And tell us why you give back.
Yes. So, again, one of the underlying themes that you will find with me is that I just genuinely love cybersecurity. Like I do it professionally. I do it as a hobby. I talk about it. My kids understand it. And they're young. My wife is probably knows more about it than she wants to know. It's like it's all I enjoy. I love it, and I've committed my life to it. And it's a lifestyle. And people, reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Or, "Hey, what do you think about that?" Or whatever. And, at some point, especially, I see Clint Bodungeon in here, a couple other people who are seasoned professionals. They probably can resonate with this. If you get asked the same question 50 times, you don't mind answering the question, but why not, take better advantage of the situation and make a video that answers that question, because it's a frequently asked question, and then you can answer it at large. You can answer it for people who didn't even know that they needed to ask the question. You can answer the question for people who don't know you and couldn't get access to you. The YouTube platform is an amazing, amazing tool for distributing and disseminating educational information at like massive scale. And that was really my drive for wanting to do the YouTube channel and really engage with the community in that way. For me to be able to help someone like Simon, cybersecurity literally has taken me to the South Pole. It has taken me to Charleston, South Carolina. It's provided for my family. My wife is a stay-at-home mom because I can afford to do it because of cybersecurity. It's given me so much, and it would be downright negligent of me not to give back and reciprocate because of how good it has treated me.
Let's go back to the word you used for that, which I think is used flippantly in most cases, which is passion. And it's clear that you have got that passion for this industry. And without wanting to be negative on a New Year's Eve, without wanting to be negative on a New Year's Eve, there are a lot of people attracted to this industry, not through passion, but through finance and money. And I don't think this is an industry where you'll succeed in with that mindset or that desire. And it goes back to the live stream I had with Jax yesterday, where you talk about goals and what is your passion, what is driving you forward. And it's clear to everyone that you've got that passion, and that is why you're helping, because you can identify those who also really want to learn as well, because there are a lot of amazing people who want to learn out there, as much as there are a lot of people who think they can sit 3 exams and demand $90,000 a year salary. No offense if anyone out there thinks that. But I want to move on quickly, because we've got 12 minutes left, and talk about the gaps in the market for training. Because the one thing I've seen coming from governance, risk and compliance background in financial services is, whilst there's a plethora of hard information around, for that kind of cybersecurity education process, there isn't any engaging training. There seems to be a gap. So we've got exciting training for red team, exciting training for blue team, and we've got, here we go, read that, son, for 3 months for GRC. And
Yeah.
I'm mentioning this because I may have tuned into your live stream earlier where you alluded to the fact that you might be working on a course in that respect, Gerald. So would you mind running through that for us?
Yeah, my pleasure, and thanks for asking. And just real quick, Kimberly and Anthony, I see your comments in chat, and thank you very much. It's very kind to read that. So I did tease this in my morning's threat briefing that I do every weekday morning today. But literally, people ask me where to get GRC training, and like Simon just mentioned, like there's a ton of red, there's a ton of blue has come on the scene the last 18 months. There's specialized training, industrial control training. I see Clint Bodungeon in here. His tool, red versus blue, is excellent for doing that. But when you ask about GRC, it's like you can read NIST 853 or 837. It's more of a reference. It's not really an educational tool, but unfortunately, there isn't really anything better. And I know there's some organization out there that Ken Underhill told me about recently that focuses on governance, risk, and compliance. And I hadn't heard of them, so I can't speak to how good or poor they are. But when my answer is there isn't really any training, after the fifth time I said it, or 50th time, it dawned on me like that I've done this for 15 years, like the GRC piece I've done for that long. Like, why don't I just make some training that can help people and see what's up? So I've put a lot of thought into it. I've put a lot of time into it. It's going to be like, it's not going to be a Simply Cyber video thing. It's like a full course, like a curriculum. And can you hear me, Simon? Okay, cool. So
Sorry,
basically,
Jerry, before
yeah.
you carry on, can we close the chat down so you can bring up anything to show?
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, let me do that while we're talking. So, really, like what I want to do is, and this is tricky for a GRC course because with GRC it's really less technical. So how do you like convey like kind of technical style education and training with something that's not really technical? So let me go ahead and share my screen right now. I'm going to share this Chrome tab. Okay, so let me see. Can you see here? Yeah, you'll have to share that to the screen there. Cool. All right, so what we're looking at is the actual training. Now, here's the deal. The training is designed to be comprehensive for GRC, and it's designed to cover each element of GRC from a theoretical perspective, and then have practical, and this is a game changer, practical application labs, and then resume bullets. So you'll see, as we're looking here, like any course, it's going to start out with like, your onboarding and, expectations. This is your day one class syllabus, all that stuff. Then I have to assume that you don't have any knowledge of technology and cybersecurity. If you do, maybe you're transitioning from the blue side, you're looking for a little bit easier than not having to work holidays because of an incident, then maybe you skip this section. But if you're brand new and you have no background, this is going to give you an understanding of what the field is, what's a GRC analyst do in the field, and some technology elements like networking and operating system. Okay, now let's get into the actual GRC work. I've got it broken up by compliance and audit, security awareness, cyber risk, and governance, right? And they're all similar in their layout, but basically, let me run it for you. So for the compliance and audit work, we're going to talk about frameworks. We're going to talk about regulations. There'll be a couple pieces in here, but then each section has an actual lab, practical auditing, right? So you're going to find out if you actually want to be in GRC. But for the audit lab, we're basically going to take some standard, and I'm going to give you a scenario and say, okay, like, these are the questions that are going to be in the audit, and here's your like little environment, etc. Here's how we walk through it, and I'm going to walk through the lab with you, hands on. And I have tools that I use when I do audit work or compliance or risk work, and I'll make those tools freely available to anyone that's involved in the course because I want you to be able to use it. I want you to walk through it. I want you to be able to take it afterwards and do something with it. After you've done the study and the lab, this is my favorite part. I've actually got resume bullets that are descriptively explain what you have learned or what you have done in the lab for each section, right? So, okay, security awareness, we're going to put together a focused awareness education piece, resume bullet unlocked for each of these, right? So at the end of the curriculum, you understand what GRC is, deep dive for each section, and you've actually done hands-on work with each section, and you've got several resume bullets. And then just to tie it all together with a nice bow, um, I'm going to tell you how to go get a GRC job and walk through it. So, like, how do you find it? How do you tailor your resume? What should you say in the interview to really, frankly, impress and pique the interest of the interviewer? And that's it. So I mean, I know it's a quick rundown. Simon, if you want to pull me back, yeah, thank you. So that's a quick rundown. So, and if anyone has any feedback, my current schedule is to beta test this with like 5 users in the next couple weeks, and and then make some modifications based on that feedback, and then release it to the community at large, and then just watch people in 2022 absolutely destroy GRC work.
I, I think it's absolutely unbelievable, and I think it's blown a lot of people away. And I expect you've got people lining up to volunteer to be beta testers on that course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. When we've spoken 2 or 3 times now, but we haven't really got into the depth of conversations. But we've been working on a verified panel in the InfoSec Live community where we are effectively trying to sort the wheat from the chaff in the cybersecurity market with regards to training, because we were saying yesterday there's such a plethora of choice out there. There's a lot of it is amazing, but there's an awful lot of, excuse my French, there's a lot of crap as well. So we're putting together a peer-reviewed panel where we can verify training, and I'd love to have the chance to put someone on it more intelligent than me to be part of your pilot, Gerald. And perhaps that would mean that you'd be the first verified partner of InfoSec Live as well, which could be very exciting.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun, and I have full confidence that whatever scrutiny or criteria is required to become verified, that this course would satisfy. Again, I don't do anything like half measured, right? I love excellence, and I'm really like, this is going to be my course, so like it's going to represent me, and if it's trash or it doesn't help anyone, that's embarrassing, and I don't want to be embarrassed. I want to help people. So I think it's going to be banging, and yeah, that'd be a fun idea, Simon.
It's brilliant, thank you. I know we've had a few people in the chat ask when they think it's going to be available. When can they access the course? I know you said it's going into testing, but can you reaffirm when you think it might be accessible in the market?
Yeah. I had some unexpected delays these last couple weeks due to some personal stuff. But as it stands right now, I'm hoping to have beta testing start in January 15th. And then the expectation is that any beta testers would have to complete a survey, complete the course in 2 weeks or less, complete another survey, and then I need probably a week to implement feedback and constructive criticism, and then release it at large. So maybe like first or second week of February would be an ideal time frame for people to look forward to. And again, like I plan on spamming this on my LinkedIn profile and on the Simply Cyber Discord server. So stay tuned for like regular updates on those mediums.
I think again, the support you've had from the Simply Cyber community this year has been fantastic. That I know how much they value the time that you give back to them. I sent a post out earlier to the InfoSec Live community. I mean, they've changed my life this year, Jerry. Between you and I and everyone watching, I came from a bad place a couple of years ago, and by setting up something similar to the way you did with Simply Cyber, not for financial gain, we seem to have built another community of 2,000 people who genuinely want to give back and help. And it's people like you, and there's too many others to mention because we've only got 2 minutes left, but who step up and help and give back, that make a real difference. And said this yesterday as well, there's a lot of people in this industry who talk a good game and pretend they're there to help. And I had a few real eye-openers when I first joined the industry, and I won't say names for obvious reason, where I reached out to help for people, not for myself, but for people who were looking for work. And the response I got back was that it would be a conflict of interests if they helped. And yeah, I don't see how anyone can see helping people as a conflict of interests, but
no.
it clearly is. And that's what's wrong with part of the industry, and it's communities like yours at Simply Cyber and many others out there that I don't even know, I'm sure, that all are aware of. If Jerry, you've got any you want to mention for people to follow, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, wow, there's quite a few, right? So just on the social media, I mean, just on the YouTube stuff, Neil Bridges' cyber insecurity is good. One that I've really taken to recently is Josh McAdor. This guy like came out of nowhere, and he shows up in my feeds all the time. I've watched some of his videos. The guy is producing like killer content. In fact, his content is so interesting and so well done that like the idea of the resume bullet for each of those segments in my course, that I took that from him. Like in his videos, he's like, okay, we're going to do this lab in this video, and here's like the skill that you will
It's a brilliant
achieve.
idea.
Oh, it's awesome. I messaged
What's his
him. I'm like, dude,
content,
I'm
Jerry?
totally.
What's his
What's that?
content? What sort of training content?
He's kind of all over the place. It's very similar to mine, right? Or Simply Cyber. It's cybersecurity education for the masses. With like how to break into cybersecurity with no experience. He's got an awesome video on setting up a machine in Azure and then feeding the logs into Sentinel, which is Azure SIM, and then being able to detect it. And he does a full honeypot. It's super cool.
I mean,
So those are
I could have set this up, couldn't I, by saying about people who see things as a conflict of interest, and there's you now promoting the competition, and it just goes to show that that is the only way we're going to achieve anything in this kind of war that we're in with these awful threat actors. And the more people keep pulling apart globally, whether it's politically, in security, or whatever it is, the worse the place is going to get. And it's why Simply Cyber is so important, and it's why InfoSec Live is so important this year and last, because of that sense of community that people want. So we're over time. I know you've got stuff to do. It's New Year's Eve. I just want to finish off by thanking everyone from the bottom of my heart for making this the best year for me, and really looking forward to 2022. Know that everyone can achieve whatever they want. It's all about the mindset. Get that straight and you'll absolutely smash it. Jerry, some wise words to say goodbye?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the community above all else. I see Base in chat helping mod. Love that guy. Thank you so much, guys. 2021 was cool. There's a lot of tough things going on, a lot of crap going on. But I feel like we are like almost to be a little cliche or goofy, like we're all kind of locked arms and moving forward as a group and strength in numbers. Just like you're not alone, right? There's a community here. Be part of it. And it'll strengthen you both internally and provide for you externally. So it's just absolutely fantastic.
It's also a place where no question is a stupid question. And it's an industry where everyone's constantly learning. Even the experts are learning every day. And I think I was nervous when I first came in to ask questions, and that's what you're doing so well. So again, we're running over time. Everyone, thank you so much. Have an absolutely amazing New Year's Eve. We've got technical problems with Restream today, so I can't play you out with any music. So I'm literally going to wave goodbye and end the stream. Can you do that, Jerry? Can you play us a bit of music?
Yeah, it should be.
There we go. Look at that. Signing out, Jerry and Simon. Have a great New Year's Eve, everybody, and a fantastic 2022. Take care. Bye-bye.